Glad to welcome you back to our trail marker videos here for this week. Glad to welcome all the new students as well. We've been focusing on the fear of the Lord being the beginning of wisdom. It's like a trail marker when you're ready to go on a hike. And so we're going to be in Proverbs chapter number 15 here this week. But first of all, let me just say I sure thank God for the church planning conference, and I pray that it was a great inspiration to you. And also, thank you for your servant spirit. Had several indicate that the spirit of the students is a blessing. You manifested that by parking, in the grass to allow others to have a parking spot, serving in the children's areas, the nursery, as well as the children's conference. So thank you. Great job and a great start to a school year. Sure excited about that. You've probably heard the saying that attitude determines altitude. And there's actually quite a bit of truth in that. I was interested to find that even in the world of aviation, that the term attitude is used. Of course, if you can imagine, the pilot has so many gauges there on the instrument panel, but one of those gauges is actually called an attitude indicator. And it's talking about the orientation of the plane in relationship to the land, which seems pretty important when you stop and think about it. Is it tilted forward, back, to the right, or the left? How is it oriented there? And thus it's referred to as its attitude, the attitude of the plane, and even a gauge called an attitude indicator. Well, the Word of God is like an attitude indicator for us, and it'll show us what our attitude is towards what's going on around us. And especially that's important for a pilot when it's cloudy, he can't see the ground, he's got to trust his instruments. And there's a lot of times in life when there's difficulty or there's a lot that's on you and you maybe can't see like maybe you had before. Well, trust the Word of God to show you what your orientation is to life. Let me share two verses with you. A merry heart, verse 13 of chapter 15, a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but sorrow of the heart is the spirit broken, or the spirit is broken. The focus in this verse is not so much on what's going on around you. The focus is on the heart. One more verse that lines up with that as well. Verse 15, all the days of the afflicted are evil, but he that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast. So again, the focus is on the heart, not the circumstances. It's your attitude that's going to determine how long you have a certain job. It's going to determine how things go in the dorm. It's going to determine how things go in a friendship, in a relationship, how things go in the first place where you go to serve in a local church. It's your attitude that's going to determine so very much about your direction, your orientation of life. So this week's trail marker is this: it is your heart, not your circumstances, that determines your outlook on life.